Hello everyone, you have reached my Flosstube, which is a channel all about cross stitch and my journey to stitch all the things. My name is Katie. Today is Flosstube 19 on Monday, June 2nd, which just so happens to be my 24th anniversary with my husband. That's awesome. He supports my hobby and I support him. Somehow I love him more than I did when we got married. I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful that I found somebody to do this crazy thing we call life. And it's just, wow. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I look forward to getting to know you. Please comment. Let me know what you're stitching, what you're doing, what brought you here. I'd love to know. If you're returning, hi, welcome back. I just looked. We have 598 subscribers. Just blows my mind. Thank you to each one of you that hit that button. It makes my head spin. I am so thankful. Can't say that enough. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it a lot. We had two wonderful shout outs. Mary's Stitching Corner shouted us out. I've talked to her before. I've watched her videos before. The latest video she posted had 8 beautiful, fully finished objects and a ton of progress on just gorgeous patterns. We have very similar tastes, so it's dangerous to watch her because I want everything she's stitching. One thing, she's doing the pigeon coop book that I recently purchased, and she said once you start it you won't finish, and I said I know, I'm really worried about that. I told my husband to just take the book to work and make copies of every page because I know once I start I'm not gonna want to stop. And I got a shout out from a new to me Flosstube Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. And I got the notification that I had to shout out, and I peeked at one of her videos, and wow, I love her sense of joy that she finds with this hobby. I do too. It was fun to see that. She does beautiful pieces, and it was really nice. She gave us a lovely shout out. She said Jeremiah's a rock star, so he has a bigger ego now. Thank you so much. She really enjoyed my whip parade, and again, I have to say a quick thank you to Adelaide from Adelaide Stitches for that idea. I stole her idea. Her daily videos are always so much fun to tune in. She hasn't posted a video lately. We send her thoughts. I know she said she was busy with school, and good luck and get good grades. And we can't wait to hear what you've been up to. Hopefully stitching in the downtime. Also for eagle-eyed people, my background changed. I finally got stitching on the wall. I had to beg Jeremiah. The one on the top right here is the poster from the wrestling convention that we attended, and it has the signatures all over it. And so when we got the new frame for that, it worked best to hang it up here. And I said, hey, can I take down your other signs and put up some stitching? And he said he guesses for my Flosstube. So I figured while you're kind of looking at them, I would show you without taking it off and showing you here. I told my husband that when he gets home, we'd have to rehang them. I figured I'd just take you through what they are. The one right here is called Camping Out. It is a Mill Hill kit. I finished it in September of 2023. Hang on one second. This is the excuse of the channel name.
Hi. I think you mean our channel.
Oh, our channel.
You said my channel.
Did I say my channel? I am so sorry. I am so sorry. See, I told you, he's getting an ego. if we could just... I told him I might change the channel name.
I am a rock star now.
Yeah, she said you're a rock star. You weren't even on the screen. Okay.
She said
I'm a rock star. You're a rock star.
Yeah. I need to take up like air guitar or something.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fun to see. Thank you very much. The Flosstube says thank you for allowing me to have stitching. Okay. Anyway, so this one is the Mill Hill kit, which is Camping Out. Here is a picture of it so that you can see it better. I really enjoyed doing these two kits. I think, yeah, we already had the cabin, and I was really excited to do them and display them here, and it looks perfect. I had them on a shelf, but they look even better hanging. The one right here I finished in November of 2019. It is called Cabin Fever. Here is what it looks like, so that you can see it better. And then I purchased the frames from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. When the store was open, it was called Dixie Darling. And they had them, and it was just adorable. I thought they looked perfect. Unfortunately, the store closed in 2022, and it was just a adorable store. And those frames are so perfect. And then the one right above my head is from Soda Stitch. I got those on Etsy. It's called Hello Four Seasons. You get all 4 seasons in one chart, and I did them individual. And I swapped that out. So on the first day of summer, I'll put in the summer one. Here is a larger picture of spring, which is on display right now. I finished that whole set in 2023. It was my seasonal set, and I really enjoyed each stitch. It was, I think that's when I discovered I really had a thing for gnomes. and I love a seasonal set. I've said that before. So I really enjoy switching that out each season, and they're really adorable, and I love them. I stitched those on 32 count light blue Lugana 2/2. And the Mill Hill kits are on the perforated paper, which is so nice. When you get done, you can just throw them in the frame. So that's what's behind me. I just figured I'd catch you up on that real fast. So, okay, what else do I need to talk about? I guess we'll go right into it. Might as well. Okay, so on my channel, I like to talk about what I've worked on since my last update. I do my updates on Mondays so that I can enjoy watching my progress, and hopefully you enjoy it too. I already talked about Monday because I actually did last week's video on Tuesday because of Memorial Day. So we'll just go right into Tuesday. I worked on Yggdrasil. That's his favorite piece. Well, right now. Here is what it's going to look like. The artist of this one is Ann Stokes. It's a chart put out by Paine Free Crafts. Unfortunately, it's now no longer available. I absolutely love this piece. Anyway, I am doing it on 32 count Lambswool Jobelan 1/1 Complete X. We fell in love with Norse Viking theme, and I was looking and trying to find one that fit, and this one was just perfect. When I showed it to Jeremiah, he said, "Oh, I really like that one," so I got it right away. And I think I just seen on Facebook I started it a year ago, which is so cool. So here is where I was before. I am also using this. Actually, you'll see on the graphic. I am using this for hashtag whip and a shape, which is from the runner stitcher, Andrew. He is running a marathon the end of August, and he's doing training each week. So he keeps a Google Sheet update for the miles he's run each day. We are supposed to stitch 10 stitches for each mile at least. Some people out there are doing more. I'm behind trying to do just 10. So this picture actually shows where I was at the start of the challenge. And now I will show you where I am now. Here I am now. So now I covered up my notes. On week 1 of Whip into Shape, I needed 270, and I actually added 280. On week 2 of the challenge, I needed 271, and I added 371. So I was really excited to be 100 ahead. And then week 3, I needed 290, and I ended up adding 292. And then we won't talk about week 4. I've already needed 300, so I'm already behind. It is very thick confetti in this part, so it goes very, very slow. So I worked on this on Tuesday, and I only added 50 stitches because it was a busy day. On Wednesday, I worked on it again, and I added 162 more. And on Thursday, I added 80 and then put it away for a little bit. I got it back out yesterday, and I only added 44 because life. every time I'm like, I'm going to finally get a good day on this, everything else comes up, of course. Right now, for yesterday, I used it for 2 challenges. I will talk about that in just a little bit in my challenges section. So, but here's where I am now. As you can see, I do the parking method. It just works really good for me. And this section down here was done on a Zoom, so I switched to the background 310 just so that I could get some mindless stitching added to it. So that's why it looks like it's kind of spread out, which is not normal for me. So this is page 1 and page 2, and I'm working on page 3 right now. And I have 34 days into it right now. It's crazy. So as you can tell, I put it down a lot and work on other stuff, which I did on Thursday. It was time for the 2 weeks worth of Peppermint Purple SAL. Here is a kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. I joined in this SAL with Peppermint Purple for my first time this year. I'm really glad. I've always loved the black work, and this stitch along is free, which how much better can that be? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whatever. So a new section comes out every Wednesday. I wait until the second week to add 2 weeks at a time instead of getting out each week only. I am doing the purple colorway of layout 1. I am doing only the free stuff. There was some options to purchase insides. I did not do that this year, at least. Here's where I was before. I am stitching this on a 32 count Platinum Lugana. And this week was weeks 21 and 22 added. I am using DMC 155, 333, and 550. This part was back in the 550 section, and it was these 2 right here. So this is weeks 21 and 22. And this was 294 stitches, but in the challenges, you divide back stitching by 2 since it's 2 stitches to equal 1, so it only counted for 147. So this was the 155, this is the 333, and this is the 550, and then it's a 310 border. And there is a closer picture, and I really enjoyed it. This one went really quick, and this one took a little bit more focus, but I just love the way it looks. And I think, of course, now I think it's right here for the next week, the next 2 weeks. So it'll be really neat. I really enjoy working on this one when I get it out. Okay, that was on Thursday. After I finished those 2 weeks, I pulled out Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage. Here's what it's going to look like. This is one of my seasonal sets this year. I recently fell in love with Primrose Cottage, and they're just beautiful. So the Quakers had to be done this year. I am using a variegated DMC 52, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. Here's what it looked like before. And like I said, it's DMC 52. It's one of the variegated ones. And here is where it is now. I just love this DMC variegated. I am being a little careful when I stitch. I enjoy it a lot. It's kind of, I try to keep the light and the dark similar. I'm only going this way. I also try to contrast it. So I know on the large motif, I went all the way around, and then because the light's kind of up here, I started with dark here and went down. And then I use, when I have that thread, I kind of go where it makes sense to go to make it stand out like this, and I love it. It's totally worth the focus. I did winter with the DMC variegated, and I absolutely loved how this turned out. So that turned out. So I figured I'd stick with this. For this one, this is the bottom. This is finally the top. I'm getting pretty close over here. So this should be done soon. I really want this one done by the first day of spring. Nope. I really want this done by the first day of summer. So it has a deadline. I really want to get busy and get it done. I swear I'm so far behind on everything. We'll talk about that in a little bit. This is day 3 on this one. On Thursday, I added 469, so that was a good stitching time on it, at least. Thursday was a good stitching day. Though I need a lot more of those. So it goes fast when I work on it. It's just a matter of getting out and working on it. Okay. I just realized the thread from the Peppermint Purple is laying on the table. So I need to put that back where it goes. One time, I think it was when I was doing the whip parade, at the end, I had put everything away, and down beside my chair, I ended up finding a DMC, and I said, oh, how am I going to find what project that came from? I found it, but wow. Okay. The last piece to talk about is the Extraordinary Bird SAL by Lola Crow. Here is what it's going to look like. This is the updated picture with the aviary frame and features 1, 2, and 3. I had grand plans to stay up to date, but I think that we all know by now I'm not going to stay up to date. I am using 36 count Sandbar, which was the suggested fabric from BeStitchMe. I am doing the Evenweave, so it's not as modeled as some of them, but I really enjoy the stitch. 36 count is definitely interesting. I'm doing 2/2, and here is where I was before. I have stitched and stitched and stitched on this. It's just crazy. And I'm still behind. So here is where I am now, and I absolutely love it. Here's where I was working, is down here with the spoonbill and a bird of paradise plant. It's just so pretty. The colors she picks are amazing. I did add the back stitching to the spoonbill and the bird's paradise plant. So I am close to finished with, I think this is feature 1. And then the blue-footed booby goes here, and a stone, and there's a bird on its back. And then the new one is over here, and it is awesome. Real fast, this is what the latest feature is. It is a bird feeder, with deadly birds. So everything this week, this feature was deadly to the touch. So it was, and she gives a write-up of all the animals, and it's just absolutely fun to read and to see, you know, that really exists is just so cool. So I'm just inevitably behind, but that's okay. I have 17 days in now. I have 7,243 stitches total. Where else? I made more notes. No, where is it? Oh, in May alone, I've done 3,981 stitches. And I can't catch up. That's okay. So, all right, that was my whips for this week, which is, I thought, oh no, it's going to be a short video, and then I realized, wait, I have to talk about the challenges. So that's okay. I guess I'm glad there wasn't a lot of whips this week. If you haven't been here before, I love Facebook groups and the stitching games, and I just enjoy them so much. I can't get enough. I started my first one, and then now I'm in like all of them. It's just, I find so much enjoyment. I'm a completionist, so completing tasks for me is just, and I'm already stitching, so it just adds a whole new a whole new fun. So in the month of May, I did 3 big challenges that I have cool graphics for, so I figured I'd show them, share them with you. Let me pull up on my screen so that I can see what I'm going to show on your screen. In Stitching by the Shore, I do a I Spy challenge, which is an awesome challenge where you get prompts and you're supposed to pick a piece that matches the prompt. You know, I will be right back. Okay, no matter how much I think I have notes, I don't. So I had to go write down what I'm going to talk to you about. So the I Spy challenge, she gives you prompts like what's on the screen, and you have to pick a pattern to fit each prompt. So I figured I would tell you about each one. The first one I used a new start, which is to feel rich, and I did not hit the goal. I set a goal for 200 and I hit 180. I was like this close. Number 2, I used the bird SAL because I was forcing myself to stitch it at that point. Number 3, I started a new piece by Glendon Place called Spirits of the Watchtower. I cannot wait to get back to that one. 4 was something that starts with M, and I used a new Mill Hill kit, which was Honeybee. It was fun to start that one. It was a great excuse. For 5, which is something you'd see at the Kentucky Derby, I kind of stretched this one a little bit, and I used Noel Gnomes, which is, I think it's Christmas Among the Gnomes, and it's French, from Jardin Prive. The little gnomes are wearing hats. When I think about the Kentucky Derby, I think of the hats that people wear. So that was the connection there. Number 6 was a favorite school subject. I used Yggdrasil. Woo! I had to wait for the woo. I took a Greek mythology class, and I really enjoyed it. And it had Norse mythology too, so that one worked for that. Cookie Monster Blue is the way I'm doing Black Pearl by the Witchy Stitcher, because I'm using a beautiful dark blue the DMC thread. The best thing is when I go like this, that means I don't know what I want to say. So I have like a loading screen. That's what my son and my husband say. They can tell. They're like, oh, she's loading. Number 8, hang on. Okay, I had a cough. Hang on. You know you don't cough until you start the video. Something that flies, I used along the nesting boxes, another Jardin Prive that I do each month because all the birds in it. And for number 9 was an arched line, and I used the bird SAL again because the aviary has arches. And the last one was something sharp, and I used Yggdrasil for that again because I forgot it. I forgot I was saying Yggdrasil that time because the talons and the antlers are sharp, so that worked. So I had to hurry and write down what projects I used. Then another challenge I do is a monthly magazine challenge group, and I do list both the challenge groups and the link to find them in the description below if you're interested. I did 2 acrostics for May because it was my birthday month and I'm crazy. So, and I epically failed. So as you can see, the first one up is the birthday one, and we were supposed to do a theme, celebrate, and then our zodiac sign, which mine is Taurus. And I always have a lot of fun picking different stickers and stuff for my graphics. And so for celebrate, I used a new start called Far Better Things because we should celebrate what's ahead in our life. For the T from Taurus, I used Think Spring from Puntini. That's my second seasonal set that I'm doing this year. I'm not showing these pictures. If you're interested, you can go back and watch my last Flosstubes. I figured it would just take too much time to talk about each one, or stay tuned because I will be talking about these pieces again. For the A, I used Christmas Among the Gnomes. For the U, I wanted to work on The Mandalorian, which is by Forbidden Fiber Co., and I did not get it out, so that one is a fail. For R, I used the To Feel Rich that I started, which was by Waxing Moon Designs. The Far Better Things was by Sweet Wing Studio. I forgot to say that. And that one, no, that one I finished. The second U was Trust the Universe by Sunflower Diaries. It did not come out this month, so that was a fail. And the S was Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I did pull that out this week. I already showed you that. So that one was marked off. So unfortunately, 2 of my birthday acrostics was not marked off. Then in the group, they do a monthly acrostic, which is my favorite kind of challenge. Here is the graphic I made for that. For the theme, it was antique, and I was supposed to pull out my oldest whip, which I did. I did not hit 100. I only hit 30, and then life. The acrostic was mahogany. For the M, I wanted to work on Beer Dragon because the artwork is by Stanley Morrison. He's still in timeout because he gave me a hard time in April. And the A, I wanted to add to Peppermint Purple SAL, which I did, so that one's marked off. For the H, I wanted to work on a Mill Hill kit 2 times. I only pulled it out once, so unfortunately I didn't get to mark that one off. For the O, I wanted the Mermaid from Lena Ova because she's over 1. I did not get her out. The rest are done, though. For the G, my Glendon place, I did get 100 added. I think I actually got like 300 and some. The A was Aviary. I put try to keep up. I didn't keep up, but for crying out loud, since I did 3,981 stitches in May, I went ahead and marked it off. The nesting boxes is a Jardin Prive. I finished the May section, so that's marked off. And Yggdrasil, I more than hit 250, so that one's marked off. So when I look at, there's 4 on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. How come I can count cross stitching, but I can't count this. There's 4 on that one, and there's 2 on the birthday one. And the I Spy has 1, and I'm behind on the bird SAL, and I'm behind on the whip into shape. And I have a confession. I let myself get so stressed out. And if I was talking to somebody else and they talked about, having a goal, I would be like, oh, don't stress out. This stitching is supposed to be fun, and that's why we're here, and just don't worry about it. And I beat myself up so bad, and I don't know why. So I was talking to Fred Jeremiah last night, and I said, I am so stressed. And they said, why? You're doing this for fun. And I went, I know. So I need to be better at about not saying I failed. I did not, I didn't check those goals off, and that's okay. I still got a lot of stitching done. No, I didn't do the grand what I wanted to do, and that's okay. Nobody is upset at me other than me. So I told myself for June, I need to calm down and try to just enjoy my stitching. So I normally plan my monthly acrostics ahead of time, and this time I did something different. So here is my monthly acrostic. Yeah, do you see it? It's not filled in. So I know the theme is Candy Shop. That one, I think I only have 1 whip that will fit. So it would be a new start, and I would really like to start it. So I hope that I can get it out. If I don't, I'll try to make something else fit. And then the acrostic is sweets. Yum. And I did fill in for the first S is Ann Stokes because it's Yggdrasil. And I know I'll work on it. But I changed the goals to just what progress I make this month. It's worth a try and see if that works. Then I'll share with you the June I Spy challenges. It does say the goal is 200. I'm going to be lax on that too. Maybe I'll even change the graphic and just put, hey, make progress. So we have squishy. Don't know yet. Scallop shaped. I know that one if it comes out. brings you peace. Normally my stitching brings me peace. Starts with the letter U, a B, a large motif. So that should be pretty easy, especially with Primrose Cottage being on my list of things I want to stitch. Mentioned in a dad joke, me and my husband had so much fun Googling different dad jokes and then lamely laughing at all of them. But I do have something made up for that. Hang on. Another attack cough. Something purple. That's my favorite color. That should be easy to do. Something you would do in the summer, and a bug that you would find at a picnic. I don't know about that one yet. We'll see. I just got an idea. So anyway, those are my 2 challenges. I do a lot of other games and stuff, but those are kind of my 2 where I try to meet goals. I don't know how to explain it. I'm also doing the hashtag whip into shape with Andrew, and that's enjoyable. And I told myself, stop. If you're behind, it's okay. Like, it's not like Andrew's gonna come by and be mad at me. If he comes by, it'd be nice to meet him. So I'll be like, hi, Andrew. Okay. So anyway, I need to breathe and take my own advice and just have fun and stitch all the things. So anyway, okay, after all that, that's my challenges. The next part is haul. I did get one thing for haul, and I'm really excited to show you. I had recently decided on my first long dog. Is it long dog samplers? Long dog samplers. And I am going to stitch a second piece that Jeremiah is being requested to make a sound for. And it is Ragnarok. Skull. Okay. It's a Viking chant. Anyway, here's what it's going to look like. Okay. So I wanted to get the fabric ready, and we went to Hobby Lobby, which was crazy. The Hobby Lobby in our town closes at 8 o'clock on a Friday. We got there at 8:15. So when I walked up to the door, I didn't understand why it didn't open. It's because it was closed. So we ended up having to go back on Saturday. And I took Jeremiah in there with me, and I said, look, you can pick out any thread. And you could see the loading screen of him going, any? And I said, yeah, any thread. I said, his favorite color is green. So I said, do you want it on a green thread? And we kind of already knew that I was going to use, and it's folded wrong, I just realized that, 32 count vintage country mocha, because he likes it that it looks like an old scroll. So he thought that would be a nice fabric to use. So I'm going to do it 1/1 on 32 count, which is my favorite. And since some of the fabric does show through, I'm going to use the vintage country mocha. So he knew what fabric we wanted to do it on. So I pulled a beige kind of fabric that was hanging there. And I said, you know, anything you think that looks good on this. And I just started pulling different threads. And I think it was it one of the first ones?
Okay, the green fabric.
The green threads.
Fabric.
He's coming over.
Oh!
As his knee just pops out. That's over here.
Oh.
You're doing the reveal now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This green.
Hang on.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, number. Well, it doesn't have a name. It has a number.
It has a number.
Hang on.
This green. I just thought that really looked good.
Yeah.
Can you see?
I think
I guess
so.
my hand's in the way.
Turn it flat like this. There you go.
First time.
Oh,
first time me trying this. Hold on. There, got it?
Okay.
So, I don't know. I just thought that looked cool.
And I pulled out other greens, and he's like, no, I like this one. And then I pulled out, I pulled out a beautiful blue, like it was electric blue.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I like that. And I said, oh, the long dog that Laura's doing, the fish and chips. I said it would look really cool in that blue. So now I have a second long dog I already want to do. But he kept going back to this one, and he just kept going back. And then I read it, and it's, hang on, ultra very dark emerald green, which is my birthstone. So I said, wow, you thought of me?
Yeah. So,
he's diamond, but I'm not doing the whole thing in white. So he picked 3818. And I really can't wait to put the first stitch in. There it is. Look, see, if you hold it like that, get right up there. That's so they can see it. It'll be really neat to see the first few stitches, how it's coming out.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it.
And
I think it looks good.
Can you back up just a little bit? Okay. So you said you're going to do what for every time I say Ragnarok?
Oh, skull.
Skull.
It's a... Hold on. I gotta think of how to spell it. Hold on.
It's SKUL.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Skull is
I think it's SKUL.
No, there's an O in it.
I will pause you and be right back. Okay, we had to go look it up. Yep. I think he was right, and I issue a public apology. So it's SKOL.
Yeah, I think we was both wrong. Yeah, it's SKOL, and it's a bowl, but they also it's pretty much used for everything.
It was like they would cheer. They would have their wine in it or meat or whatever, and they would go skull.
They would cheer one another.
But then it kind of was like a battle cry.
Yeah.
So we was between
kind of use it.
skull and a wolf howl, which is a ooh, and a caw because of crow, and we just his list.
I settled on skull.
He'd have to go skull, ooh, caca. Yeah, it would just be, it's like take 5 minutes for him to do it. Yeah, and then last night I told him, what if I said Yggdrasil,
woo,
and then skull or Ragnarok.
Skull.
And then I said, so Yggdrasil had to not be worked on because I was working on Ragnarok.
Skull.
And then, so Ragnarok
Skull
took place of Yggdrasil. So this could be
See how complicated this gets?
And then the bird SAL. One week you did...
One time I did tweet for the bird SAL.
Carolyn really liked that and said each project needed its own...
Yeah.
So if you're such a rock star, you should be able to come up with and keep track.
Someone, I think it was Carolyn, said something about I should come up with a thing for each project, and I could do it. It's not a matter of I couldn't do it, but that's a lot.
Yeah, and what if you forget? And what if I accidentally say Yggdrasil?
Yeah, Yggdrasil, and I say skull. That would just be wrong.
I just said Yggdrasil.
Woo!
Okay, so I did get yelled at that he didn't do a spin, but the problem is I have Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage that has a deadline. It has to be done before summer, and that's coming. Like the way May went, I'm pretty sure the first day of summer is going to be tomorrow.
I actually just told Mom the other day. We was looking forward to a weekend that's coming up. And we'll talk about that once it actually happens. But and I said we'll look forward to this weekend, and then after that, next thing we know, it'll be Christmas.
Yeah, we said it in February. We was like, oh man, before we know it, it's going to be June, and it's here. So anyway,
it was the convention.
Yeah,
it was the wrestling convention we was looking.
I have Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage, and I have When I Think of Spring by Puntini, and I went to do the Jardin Prive nesting boxes, and those all have kind of deadlines by summer. Well, nesting boxes, they went done in June, which it's going to be over in a day. We all know it. So instead of a spin, we could just spin Jeremiah. And just do.
I hit the table.
Wait, he spun off screen. Which one of the three should I work on first? Oh, okay. Oh, that's complicated. No. Oh my. Now he fell. This is my entertainment for the day.
Sorry, my immaturity got the best of me. Okay.
Which one should I do first, now that you've spun yourself? The Primrose Cottage, the When I Think of Spring Puntini, or the nesting boxes.
Yeah. Didn't you say something about, was it the Puntini that had a...
The Spring Quaker needs to be, I'm in a challenge to finish it. I get extra entry.
And you get extra entry.
Yeah.
So I'd go with that one because you get something extra out of it.
All right. So hopefully that counts as we spun Jeremiah. And I'm trying so hard to get caught up so that I can do a spin again. Trust me, I want to work on something else. So, okay. I think we're done with you. We spun you. Yeah.
That was not planned, by the
way. None of this is planned. We can't script this. We're crazy. Are you done?
I think so.
Okay. Say bye.
Is that everything?
Say bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's everything.
That's everything.
Okay. Right. So I showed you the thread. What? Go ahead.
Oh, I know you already said hi to Adelaide, but hi Adelaide and everyone else.
You gotta start mentioning everyone else to get their feelings hurt.
Hi to the fans.
Yeah, hi to the fans.
The fans.
Wow.
We have fans.
Okay. Wow. Alrighty. It's chaos. Sorry, we're rambling. So I showed you my haul. So plans now. After spinning Jeremiah, I'm going to work on the Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage. Hopefully finish that. Now the camera's way too low. While I'm already rambling, I will show you. A friend of mine said she'd love to see my shirt because she knows I always wear ornery shirts. Today's is, as a matter of fact, the whole world does revolve around me. I always have something ornery on my shirts. I'm known for that when I go to my local stitching retreat. I have to buy some new shirts just so that, because everybody looks, what's Katie wearing today? And I also wear really fun like pajama pants. So it's my reputation. So she commented 1 week and said that she'd love to see what shirts I'm wearing. So I'll try to remember. Anyway, I have rambled and took up a lot of your time. I will leave you alone so you can go watch all the wonderful floss tubes out there. I'm behind. I think I'm behind on everything. Life is getting busy. He was talking about, we have a band coming up. They actually perform here on the property we live on. And we very much enjoy it, but it's a lot of work to get everything ready. So life is busy. The weather's crazy. We've been getting a lot of projects done and marked off the list, but there's a lot more to go. That band happens on the 21st, so we're really looking forward to it. They do all kinds of really neat songs, and I'll try to have video when we get there. Anyway, please love yourself. You're worth it. Smile. Find all the reasons you can to laugh. And good luck stitching all the things. I will see you next Monday. Bye. I am back to throwing in a video at the end. We got to talking about, there's so many new people since I've talked about this that I figured I better throw in a quick video. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah has something called cerebral palsy. It happened after he was born. He was born 2 months early, and he forgot to breathe, and the lack of oxygen caused his brain to have a disability. Mm-hmm. That he is on his knees when he's in the house. When he's outside for long distances, he uses a wheelchair. So if you happen, I was like, wait,
Yeah, the video of me being a dork on the bed.
That's how he gets
around.
That's how
I get around. That's just normal. So, I did that and didn't even think about it. So
after I shut off the video, I said, we have a lot of new people and I haven't talked about it in a while. I figured I better jump on here real fast and explain, that to us, he's done that his whole life. He's 27 now. Mm-hmm. To us, it's so normal. And, to
me, I'm just short.
Yeah. When we had a friend here that had never really been around him, he got off of his wheelchair. Yeah. He has like a power chair. And got on his knees to come in the house, and she thought he fell. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, Jeremiah fell." And we all went, "What?" Mm-hmm. And we're so used to it that we don't even think about it. But I thought,
I didn't even.
That's kind of going to bring it to everybody's attention. So that's just who he is.
Yeah, that's just who I
normal.
am.
So
doesn't obviously stop me very much.
it doesn't.
So.
And he luckily doesn't hurt, and the damage is already done, so it does not get worse.
Yeah.
It mostly just affects his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just figured I better throw on a quick disclaimer for anybody who wondered, why he was doing that. Yeah. So
I'm just a nerd. That's
and
easy.
all the other things. Yeah. So thank you so much.
I'm not just a nerd. I'm a Nordic nerd.
He is a Nordic.
I don't have the
you
shirt on.
You don't have the shirt on today.
I do actually have a shirt made that says that.
Yep. So thank you so much. I just figured I'd stop and explain that.